Hi, Sharon Brennan here, Cottage Lane Stamper. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, and today we're going to put together this gorgeous card that I put in the opening shot, and we are going to be using the Peaceful Moments stamp set. We're going to be using the Happy Birthday, and then also the Poppy Moments dies that go with it. So I've already pulled some of the dies out, and we'll put it together here. You're going to need a piece of 8.5 by 5.5 piece of Whisper White cardstock, scored at 4 1/4, and I'll have all the dimensions on my Facebook page in a on a PDF that you can print out. So look for Peaceful Poppies, and I'll probably put like vellum behind it or something. We're also going to need a piece of Mossy Meadow cardstock that is 4 by 5 1/4. Another piece of Whisper White that's 3 1/4 by 5. A piece of Flirty Flamingo cardstock that's 3 1/4 by 5. And a piece of the petal pink vellum that's in the, the name escapes me right now. I'll put the name of the it's in another suite in the annual catalog. Anyway, we're going to be using the vellum from that, and also another piece of the vellum from that same pack that is 3 1/4 by 3 3/4, and a piece of Mossy Meadow cardstock that is the same size, 3 1/4 by 3 3/4. So I'll set those aside, and through the magic of television or video or whatever you want to call it, I've got my pieces all cut here. So we're going to die cut from the petal pink vellum one of the large flowers and 2 of the smaller ones, either the solid ones. And then from the Flirty Flamingo, we're going to cut 2 of the smaller flowers, the outline ones, and 1 large one. From the green vellum, we're going to die cut 3 of the leaves. And if you don't have this vellum on hand, I loved it when it came out with the colored vellum, to be honest with you. But if you don't have it, you can use regular vellum and just use your Stampin' Right markers on the back side and color them. So we're going to cut 3 of those leaves and 2 of these from the Mossy Meadow, and then 1 of the centers, flower centers from the for the big flower, and 2 of the smaller ones. So we're going to kind of put this all aside, and we're going to start to assemble this. And let's see if I have my trusty gooey silicone mat. I really do try to keep this clean, but it doesn't help. And we're going to actually use, I think we're going to use, well, we're going to try and use glue, I think, on this. Now, I could, and I've done this in the past, hang on a minute. When I have finer pieces, excuse me, I have a cold, that might be hard to put adhesive on or glue. I will put a little bit of glue on my silicone mat, my craft mat here, and then just dip this in there and kind of just dab it over the edges like that. Or you can take your glue and strategically place some. I'm going to put a bunch in the middle here to keep this down, and then just dot around the edges and in the middle. Like that. And we're going to try and line this up. Now I should have tried this beforehand. Let's see here. Figure this out. It goes just like that. The thing about the glue, you can actually slide it over a little bit to adjust it. I'm getting glue all over it with my fingers. And then we're going to do the same thing with the two outlines. I see I've got a couple pieces here that haven't been poked out. Let's see if I get my... I love this tool. I didn't think I would, but I've actually used it quite a bit. I think it's something you absolutely need in your little handy-dandy toolkit. So we're going to just poke out those pieces because you can do so much with it. We'll use it later on too when we're doing our embellishments. So we're going to turn these over and put some glue on here. I don't know if any of you have ordered this set yet or not. It's like my favorite. I'm doing a class on Wednesday, and it's going to be like a product class. I've never done one of those. So we usually make 3 cards, and all 3 cards are going to be using the Peaceful Poppies suite. And I'll be doing videos on the other 2 cards too as I put them together. So I'm going to take this, one of our vellum pieces, and line that up. Actually, I'm going to use a point to press it down a little bit. Try not to get it all over my fingers. Sometimes what I do, I just take a block and set it on top so it gets even coverage. And a little bit of weight will help put it down, keep it down. So put that one on there. So we've got those, and then I think we're just going to get our centers, our flower centers, and put those on when we're working with the flowers. Got so much glue on my fingers, it just might stick without putting any more on. No, I'm kidding. So I'm going to put a dot here, and you can use glue dots for this too. Actually, no, I don't think I want to use dimensionals. Could use dimensionals on this. And we're just gonna, I don't know if there's a right or wrong way, but that sits in there. That's where it's gonna be. So, isn't that pretty? I love this. I'm gonna put a block on top of that one too. Kind of weigh it down a little bit. And then we'll take this one and take one of these guys. The leaves want to get in on the action. Caught on my sleeve. And put him right there. I'm going to get my block back and put it on there. And then some glue on this one. And put him there. Let's set those off to the side. Put that block on there. Move him over there. Get this out of the way. I do try to get it off. If anybody's really good suggestion on how to get that really clean, let me know. I soaked it in water, and I've tried using acetone or hand sanitizer on it. So now we are going to get our card base and lay out the leaves. So they're going to sit kind of like this. I have 2 at the top. Like that. And then I accidentally cut a vellum one out of there. And then one is going to be on the bottom like this. So I think that's about where I want them. You take my flowers. This one's going to go here. And here. And they're sticking to my fingers because of the glue on my fingers. And there. So I think this one's going to sit with this and like that. So when you're using with vellum, you want to make sure you use glue dots and try to put them in strategic places so that the glue dots don't show up, because they do the adhesive, whatever adhesive you're using. If I use snail, it would you'd be able to see through it. So I'm going to put this down here, have a little bit sticking up, because that's going to be, we're going to have our piece of mossy meadow underneath there. And then I'm going to take the other piece, other leaf, and put a couple glue dots on there. I didn't get it very good, so I'm just going to bend it back. And have that sitting like that one. And then we're going to take these leaves, and these is going to be kind of covered up flower. So I might put a little bit of glue at the top. Can use, because this is cardstock and you won't be able to see through it, so that'll work good. So we're going to just stick this one right in the middle here. And we're going to take some glue dots and put it on this leaf. And I like to have the vellum behind the cardstock. One thing is the leaf is larger and gives more of the illusion of being a shadow. So use take off the glue dot here and put it behind the leaf. Hopefully it won't show. I guess you don't have to be as careful with the colored vellum as you do with the white, because the white you will see the adhesive through the sheet. So I'm going to put one here too. There. And then we're going to take, and I think we're going to put this one here. So I'm going to try and put it using glue dots. I'm going to try and just do the center. I don't know if it's going to show or not. I guess that's good. Put that there. And a couple flowers here. Whoop! Did I forget to glue you? I did. Good thing it reminded me. It stuck onto my sleeve. It's a nice flower or leaf. I'm going to kind of stagger them a little bit. Makes them a little bit more interesting. So, use the bottom of the bottle. There. And then we'll take, I think, I am going to use dimensionals on this. I'm going to put a couple in the middle here, underneath. Actually, I'm going to do 3. Underneath the cardstock part. And it's stuck to my finger. And that one's going to sit right here. The hardest thing about this whole card, I think, is just the die cutting takes a little bit of time. So then we are going to take our piece of Mossy Meadow, and I'm going to use our snail if I can find it. It's got some of my hair on it. I don't know. I shed like a dog, I think. And then, oh, one more thing before we get too far here. We're going to stamp Happy Birthday on it in Mossy Meadow. And usually, I'm not thinking clearly, usually I like to stamp beforehand, because if I mess up, then I can just flip it over and stamp on the other side. So, there we go. Oh, thank you. So, stamp that. And then I like to give these richer colors, like Mossy Meadow and Cherry Cobbler, Night and Navy, Blackberry Bliss, those dark, rich colors. I like to give them a little extra drying time. So in class we kind of call this wafting. Wafting, whatever it is. And then we're going to take our 8.5 by 5.5 piece of cardstock, and we're going to take our bone folder, just make that a nice crease, reinforce that crease a little bit, that score mark. Because it gives it a nice clean edge then. We're going to Here's our snail. And try to center this. And there we are. And then, I don't know if you've seen these yet. They are the Peaceful Poppy sequins. They're just, I just love them because they're tiny little flowers. I don't know if you can zoom in here. Whoops. See that tiny little flower there? Isn't that adorable? I just think they're cute. And we're going to get our glue dots back out here. And we're going to pick up, this is why it's take your pick. You can choose what tool you want and it also picks things up. So we'll use the other end and we're going to take that off. And we're going to put one of these here. And maybe I'll use one of these and you can just center it right on top of the glue dot there. It's so much easier to put these where you want them actually when with the take a pick tool. And let's put this guy down here. There. And that's it. That's all there is to that card. So pretty simple. I think it's very beautiful looking. I'm sure one of your friends or family would just love getting this gorgeous card in the mail from you. So thank you for stopping in. As I said, I will have all the supplies listed in a PDF on my Facebook page, which is Cottage Lane Stamper and Friends. You can see that. Zoom in a little bit. And it'll have all the dimensions and the supplies. And I'll also put it on, I'll tweet it, and it'll also be on Instagram. And if you click on the photo through the tweet or the Instagram, you'll get a list of the supplies that I use. So, but for the PDF, you'll have to go to Cottage Lane Stamper and Friends and look under Files. In the File section, it'll be on the left-hand side. So, anyway, thanks again for stopping in, and I hope you enjoyed this. And if you have any requests of techniques or cards that you'd like to make, just text or leave a comment. So, take care and may God bless you.